Hey, it's Jesse from Adventures of Sprout. Welcome to part 2 of our Autopilot install. This will be going over the Dockside Commissioning of the Autopilot. Alrighty, so we've powered up the B&G Triton 2 display and Autopilot controller. I've already done a lot of settings, basically configured this one from the start, but what I'm going to do is step through basically the commissioning manual, all the steps, and show you how to do it, and eventually you'll end up with the screen you've got in front, or however you would like it. When you power it up for the first time, you'll be asked to put in your boat characteristics. I'm going to sort of bypass it, so I'll just sort of go there, and you can do this after the fact as well. If you exit or something, you can always go into this afterwards. So we go into Autopilot, installation, and Dockside, and then into boat. This is basically what you'll get when you first power it up, the boat configuration. So boat type sail, for us that's true. Your other options are displacement or planing. So if you're a displacement powerboat or a planing powerboat, that's your two options there. Boat length for us 13.5 meters, and cruising speed for us it's about 6 knots. So that's sort of your first boat configuration. The next thing it'll ask you to do is do the drive configuration. So that's the next thing down on the list. So if we have a look in here, I've got it set up as a reversible motor. If you had an existing like hydraulic system in the boat, you'd be clicking solenoid, and you'd be cabling the actual NAC3 computer differently as well. But for us, reversible motor, nominal voltage 12 or 24, whatever your boat is. Driving gauge clutch. For most people, that's going to be the case, you know. And I don't think we need to go into here. I'd leave this until you're actually doing your sea trialing, because, or when you've actually sort of done your rudder configuration, because you don't know what the rudder deadband is until you actually sort of do the rudder configuration. So next one is rudder source. If you're using the frequency feedback in the NAC3 computer, you'll be selecting one of these two. We've got a rudder feedback, an RF25N, which sits on the NEMA 2000 bus. So that's what we're using for our rudder feedback. And then once you've actually, we'll go back. The next thing you want to do is do your source selection. So you want to get right back to the start. Now this is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is, you know. Go into system and back into network and sources, and go in there. And now we want to go through all of our different data inputs, and we're going to select what's going to give the compass its headings and give the navigation stuff its heading. And so in here, depends on your boat, but for us it's a Precision 9, a B&G Precision 9, fantastic, great compass. I think it runs at like 10 or maybe 30 hertz. It's super fast, and it works really good when you're running a radar, or a digital radar in particular, or you know, an autopilot you actually want to work quite well. A Precision 9 is the go. You know, and you can go through all of these and select the relevant inputs. I'm not going to, because it's going to be very different with every single boat. But yeah, basically you can go through all of these different inputs and select them. Once we've done all our source selection, we'll basically move on to the rudder configuration part. We're just going to go back into the Autopilot setup. There we go. Autopilot, back to installation again. back into the dockside, and the first step of the rudder configuration is the rudder source. We should have already ticked this. Yeah, basically we're using the RF25. This is a virtual one. I wouldn't recommend using that, or the internal NAC3 frequency-based rudder feedback sensor. So you select that, get back out of here, go into rudder feedback, and it'll give you, these won't be ticked when you first come in here. It needs these ticked so that you can move on to the next stage of the Autopilot sea trialing. When you go into the feedback calibration, it'll go through a number of steps, and you turn the rudder hard to starboard, then hard to port, and then center it. And then once you've done that, I'll just skip that, go into the rudder test, and the Autopilot will run through a number of tests with the wheel. It'll take control of the helm and make sure that what the rudder feedback sensor is sending to the computer correlates with what the computer is telling the Autopilot to do. So once you've done that, and it gives you the tick and it's all happy, then you're basically ready for sea trial. I'm going to be running through the sea trial in another video, which will be part 3, and we can have more fun then. Catch you later.